Hi everybody, today we are going to learn how to configure the Schneider software. So Schneider, the software is Ecostruxure Machine Expert and we are using a TM221 CE24R CPU. So today I'll show you how to create a new project, how to compile it and download it. So let me open the software. The software is Ecostruxure Machine Expert Basic. So this is a free software and you can do both simulation, and if you have hardware you can directly download it to the hardware. So when it comes to the Schneider, you can have different kinds of communication. If you want to use USB in order to download, that is also possible. If you want to use Ethernet, and you can use the IP address in order to download the program, that is also done. So when you open the software, you can see 5 different windows here, 5 different options on the top. So the properties, what you have to do is, if you are not going to do with the password, you have to click on the enable this inactive option. Otherwise, every time the option for password and confirmation will be asking and it will pop up. So better to go for inactive if you are doing it for studying purposes. Next one is you have to do the configuration. So you have to configure the CPU. The CPU here is TM221CE24R. So this is the CPU. So you have to drag it and place it on the top of the current CPU. So to ask, do you want to replace this with this? So you can say yes. Once that is done, we have to give the IP address. I mean the communication should be set. So that is mandatory if you are doing with the hardware. So if you are doing simulation, you don't have to care about that. So double click on the port. Here you can see the Ethernet port. That is where the Ethernet is connected. So similar to our hardware, in the software also that same structure will be provided, and you have to double click on this particular area. So automatically the communication area or the parameters that has to be enabled will pop up. So you can see so many options: IP address by DHCP, IP address by BootTP, and fixed IP address. If your system is having a fixed IP address, you can set the IP address here. If you want to take the IP address automatically, you can go for DHCP. So now I have a fixed address for the system. So that is 192.168.0.80. Subnet mask is 255.255.255 and 0. And here you can see the security parameters. Make sure that you enable the Ethernet IP protocol for the communication. Otherwise, the program will not be downloaded. So other options of the Ecostruxure is, you can see Modbus server. This can act as a Modbus server. You can do Modbus TCP communication with this one. So enable all the security parameters. Click on apply, and you can go to the programming window. So in the programming window, you can see the the features on the top. Your elements that is required for doing the program is on the top side, and you can add run. For example, you can have different runs here. You can add the run. And another advantage of Ecostruxure is it will auto compile. So once the program everything is done, it will auto compile by itself. See now, all the rungs, you have 3 rungs, all the rungs are free, nothing is written inside that one. So on the top it is shown that program errors detected. So once you complete the rung with all the elements and including the addresses, automatically it will compile, and once it shows no error, you can download the program. So now I'm going to place a switch from here, and also a lamp. So you can see options to add the rung, insert a rung in between, delete a rung, and you can see normal mode, that is no branch. If you want to branch means if you want to connect a parallel branch, you can go for this one. And then what you can do is select the input. So automatically whatever you connect will be, if it is normally open, it becomes a normally open branch. If it is normally closed, it becomes a normally closed branch, just like this. Okay. Now if you go to the normal mode, whatever you take will be normally open and normally closed as such. And if you want to connect it, you can use the pencil and connect it. And this is rubber, eraser. You can delete the element. So now I don't need this one. We'll give the address of the Schneider. So the address of the Schneider, when it comes to the hardware part, you might have seen it is having a word level address. So inside the word you will have 16 bits. So each and every bit will be having an address. So in the hardware of the Schneider, we can see the hardware inputs. You have 14 inputs, and your outputs will be 10 outputs. So the addressing is in word level, and it is what to say, if you are using input, the structure will be I 0.0. And again, it's a compact model. So it's a compact model means the CPU with the inbuilt IOs. CPU with the inbuilt IO means CPU is in the slot 0, so the addressing starts from the slot 0. So if you have an additional module, then the slot becomes 1, 2, 3, etc. So according to that, then IO's addressing will be different. So now the first address will be I 0.0, 0th slot, 0th bit. So when I press I, automatically what happens, all the inputs for that hardware will be displayed here. You can see from 0 to 13, that means total you have 14 inputs. So I'll be selecting the first input. Next we'll go to the output addressing. So I said to you that you have 10 hardware outputs. So the representation is Q, and again it's a compact model, the slot is 0. So the first bit will be Q 0.0. So I'll be giving, when I click on, when I press when I press the letter Q, automatically what happens, you can see all the outputs here. So your 10 outputs will be here, and you can click on Q 0.0. So now on the top you can see it is showing no error. It is like I told you before, it's auto compile. So now it's ready for compiling, and it's ready for downloading. So go to the commissioning. So here you can see so many options for downloading. So if I have a COM port, I have to select the COM port and then download it. But now it's not the COM port I have connected. What I have done is I have given the Ethernet address, IP address of the system before. So I have to select the IP address, select it, click on the login option. So once you click on the login option, there is an option called PC to controller download. So let me log out and show you once more, because the program is similar like this. So what I'll do is I'll just connect one more input here, keep the address as I0.1. okay, and there is an option to give command or symbol here. So if you want to give a symbol, you can give. For example, I want to name this as I1. So that is possible. So it becomes I1. I want this to be named as I2. So I want this to be output 1. So now I'll go to the commissioning, select it, login. So what happens is PC to controller download option will be enabled there. So initially when you start, this option will come. Once you click on the login, this option will come, because previously I have downloaded it with the same program, it was not showing. So I just made a change inside that one. So the option called PC to controller download option will be there. And here you can see an option called controller to PC, that is upload option. So whatever program is inside the PLC, if you want to retrieve it, you can go for the upload option. And the software, from the software you are doing the program, if you want to download it to the controller, it's known as download. So you have to be very clear with what is upload and download in the PLC. So now we need to download it. Click on PC to controller. Yeah, we'll say OK. You will overwrite the application. Yeah, OK. There is one option called start controller. So what you have to do is, once the program is downloaded, it's not like it's done. You have to click on the start controller. So without clicking on the start controller, your PLC will not be enabled. The program will not work. So make sure that you click on the start controller. Now go to the program. So here you can see. So now we'll turn on the hardware switch and check what is happening here. Okay. Here you can see that both the switches are on and your output is true. So when I turn on the switch, it shows true here, and here also you can see it is true, and the color changed to green. And again the output is on, and the coil also is filled with green color. So this is how you download a program, and So if you want to edit it again, go to, so if you want to edit it, you can go to logout option, then you can come back to the programming and add whatever you want. So for example, if I want to insert rung, I can insert the rung from here or add the rung from here. If I want to add a branch from here, for example, I can use the pencil, click here, add the branch like this. Okay, so all these kinds of additions are possible inside the Schneider. If I want to add a multiple output from here, just drag it like this. Take your output and connect it. So you can add it in this way. You can see Q0.1. If you want to name it, you can name it as I've shown before. So on the top you can see the program errors detected just because in the second run I have done anything. So if I'm going to delete it, automatically it will compile and no error will be shown here. So this is the thing. So hope you understood how to create a project, how to compile it and download it. Thank you.